Shalom, Most High Christ bless. Happy Sabbath day, everyone. Well, TTIC, which stands for the Truth in Christ. Before we get to start with today's class, I'm going to read our TTIC disclaimer. The TTIC, also known as the Truth in Christ, is a Bible-based organization. We are not affiliated with any other Israelite group. We teach the Bible as it is written. We are not a hate group, nor do we teach violence. We do not condone any acts of hate or violence against any race, ethnicity, gender, and religious groups. We firmly believe in abiding by the laws of the city and state. If you witness any member of TTIC committing a crime, please contact us and the proper authorities. Thank you.
All right, shalom, Most High Christ bless. I'm Brother Mark of TTIC. How y'all brothers and sisters doing out here? Happy Sabbath to y'all brothers and sisters. Happy Sabbath to all y'all brothers and sisters out here. May the Most High bless you, brothers and sisters. And may the Most High bless y'all brothers and sisters and keep y'all in this faith. Keep y'all path straight. Keep walking in this truth, brothers and sisters. Don't give up. Don't give up. Times might seem hard, as if things is going bad for you, but they really not. Things is going the exact way that the Lord wanted to go. It's going the exact way that the Lord wanted to go. Yeah. All right. So give me a second. Let me get started. Give me this book of Psalms. I'm going to start with Psalms chapter 18, and I'm going to start with verse 1.
The book of Psalms, chapter 18, verse 1. It says, I will love thee, O Lord, my strength. The Lord is my rock and my fortress and my deliverer, and God my strength, in whom I would trust, my buckler and the horn of my salvation, and my high tower. That was the end of verse 2.
Keep on going.
Verse 3. I will call upon the Lord, who is worthy to be praised. So shall I be saved from my enemies. The sorrow of death compasseth me, and the floods of ungodly men made me afraid. The sorrows of hell compassed me about. The snares of death prevented me.
So the sorrow of death compassed me, and the floods of ungodly men have made me afraid. Watch this, come on.
Verse 6. In my distress, I called upon the Lord.
And so when we stressing, brothers and sisters, we supposed to what? Call upon the Lord. Watch this.
And cried unto my God. He heard my voice out of his temple.
He heard my voice out of his temple.
And my cry came before him.
Read.
Even into his ears.
Even into his ears.
And then the earth shook.
Then the earth shook.
And trembled.
Trembled.
And the foundations also of the hills moved and were shaken.
Come on.
Because he was wroth.
Because he was angry. Read.
There went up a smoke out of his nostrils.
Read.
And a fire out of his mouth.
Read.
Devoured. Coals were kindled back.
Coals was kindled by. So now, when we call upon the Lord and we keep God's laws, statutes, and commandments, God will fight for us. Okay? God will fight for us. So I started that off to show you that, yeah, times is going to get tough. Yeah, and enemies going to come against you. People going to come against you. Floods of ungodly men men made me afraid. There's things gonna happen with you in this truth, and that's why you gotta understand every kingdom. Today's Sabbath class is every kingdom has an end. What is this kingdom's end? What's this kingdom end? So it's a lot of history today. We're going into history. It's going to be like part 1, part 2, maybe even a part 3 on this. I ain't never did have to do part 3, but maybe even a part 3 on this. Okay. We're gonna start off with Daniel chapter 2 and verse 28.
The book of Daniel, chapter 2 and verse 28. It says, "But there is a God in heaven that revealeth secrets, and maketh known to the king of Nebuchadnezzar what shall be in the latter days. Thy dream and the visions of thy head upon thy bed are these."
So stop. It says, "But there is a God in heaven that revealeth secrets and maketh known to the king Nebuchadnezzar what shall be in the latter days." That's today. That's these times. So God had revealed to Nebuchadnezzar what was going to happen at this particular time.
Yeah.
So now let's see what's going on when it happened with the dream with Nebuchadnezzar. Come on.
Verse 29. "As for thee, O king, thy thoughts came into thy mind upon thy bed, what should come to pass hereafter. And he that revealeth secrets maketh known to thee what shall come to pass.
Read.
But as for me, this secret is not revealed to me for any wisdom that I have more than any living, but for their sakes that shall make known the interpretation to the king.
Read.
And that thou mayest know the thoughts of thy heart."
But their saints, meaning the wise men, because Nebuchadnezzar was going to kill everybody if they could not come up with, just like Pharaoh did back then when his wise men couldn't come up with the interpretation of the dreams. Watch this, read.
Verse 31. "Thou, O king, sawest and beholdest a great image. This great image, whose brightness was excellent, stood before thee, and the form thereof was terrible. This image's head was of fine gold, his breast and his arms of silver, his belly and his thighs of brass, his legs of iron, his feet part of iron and part of clay.
Read.
Thou sawest till that a stone was cut out without hand, which smote the image upon his feet, that were of iron and clay, and break them to pieces.
Read.
Then was the iron, the clay, the brass, the silver, and the gold, broken to pieces together,
Read.
and became like the chaff of the summer thrashing floor, and the winds carried them away, that no place was found for them. And the stone that smote the image became a great mountain, and filled the whole earth."
So that's right there. That's going into that parable is talking about all the nations getting destroyed, and Christ ruling after the end of all that. That's what that's going into. Watch this. Read.
Verse 36. "This is the dream, and we will tell the interpretation thereof before the king.
Watch this.
Thou, O king, art a king of kings.
Thou, O king, art king of kings.
For the God of heaven hath given thee a kingdom,
Read.
power, and strength, and glory."
So God gave, and listen to what this says. And this is why it says every kingdom has an end. What is the end of this kingdom? Read that again.
Verse, starting at top of 36.
37.
37. "Thou, O king, art a king of kings.
Thou, O king." He's talking Nebuchadnezzar right here. Read.
For the God of heaven hath given thee a kingdom,
For God of heaven hath given thee a kingdom,
power,
strength,
and glory.
So God gave it to Nebuchadnezzar as he gave it to every kingdom before. Like when the Babylonians ruled before Nebuchadnezzar, God gave them that power. All right? In today's class, you're going to learn that. Read.
Verse 38. "And wheresoever the children of men dwell, the beasts of the field and the fowl of the heavens hath he given into thine hand."
And read it again.
It says, "And wheresoever the children of men dwell,
Wherever the children of men dwell,
the beasts of the
the
field
beasts of the field,
and the fowl of the heavens
read.
hath he given into thine hand."
So now let me explain something to you. The beasts of the fields and the fowls of the earth has he given into that man's, whoever's ruling at that time. Now, let me explain something to you, because I know I'm not gonna go back to this. But what I want you to explain, what I want to explain to you is, look at America today. Do America controls the animals? Are they not the ones that's showing you what the animals are, what they do? The fowls of the earth, they know all the birds, what they do.
Yeah.
America knows that, right?
Yeah.
So Nebuchadnezzar, read it again, Officer George. Watch this.
And wheresoever the children of men dwell,
Wherever the children of men dwell,
the beasts of the field and the fowl of the heavens have he given into thine hand.
that he gave it to Nebuchadnezzar, so did he give it to America these days. Not just America, because America is 7 heads and 10 horns. So whoever is with America also benefits in that.
Mm-hmm.
Now watch this, read.
And have made thee ruler over all of them.
And made you ruler over all the nations and all the animals and all things, read.
Thou art this head of gold.
So Nebuchadnezzar was the head of gold right there. Read.
39, verse 39. And after thee,
Hold on, let me see something. Verse 39, read.
verse 39. And after thee shall arise another kingdom, inferior to thee,
Inferior to thee.
and another third kingdom of brass,
Another third kingdom of brass.
which shall bear rule over all the earth.
Shall bear what?
Shall bear rule over all the earth.
Read.
And the fourth kingdom
And the fourth kingdom
shall be strong as iron. For as much as iron breaketh in pieces and subdueth all things, and as iron that breaketh all these,
Read.
shall it break in pieces and bruise.
So now we just read a whole lot right there. So now we're going to backtrack a little bit. All right. So now we're going to go back. Let's go back to 39 again. 38.
The book of Daniel, chapter 2, verse 38. And wheresoever the children of men dwell, the beasts of the field and the fowls of the heaven hath he given into thine hand, and have made thee ruler over them all. Thou art this head of gold.
So thou art the head of gold. So in 600 BC, Babylon was ruling. All right. Babylon was ruling in 600 BC. All right. The second kingdom was, where did he go? Where was the second? And after thee shall arise another kingdom inferior to thee. That second kingdom was the Persian and Media. In 539, they defeated the Babylonians. The Persian Medes defeated the Babylonians in 539 BC. And then it says, and another kingdom of brass, the other kingdom of brass, which shall bear rule over all the earth. Over all the what? Earth. Now, I want to make 2 points here, because I don't got this in here, but I always add when I go. All right, give me 1 Maccabees chapter 1.
The book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 1.
In verse 1.
In verse 1.
Watch this.
And it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chittim, had smitten Darius, king of the Persians.
So he had smitten Darius, the king of the Persian. That was 539 BC that they ruled to. Watch this, read.
King of the Persians and Medes, that he reigned in his stead.
The
first over Greece.
The first over what?
Over Greece.
Read.
And made many wars.
And
won many strongholds.
Read.
And slew the kings of the earth. and went through the ends of the earth and took spoils of many nations, insomuch that the earth was quiet before him.
So the earth was quiet before Alexander the Great, or Alexander the Greek. And that's who he was, Alexander the Great or Alexander the Greek. All right, watch this, read.
Whereupon he was exalted, and his heart was lifted up, and he gathered a mighty strong host, and ruled over countries and nations and kings, who became tributaries unto him.
And who became tributaries unto him. Come on.
And after these things he fell sick, and perceived that he should die. Wherefore he called his servants, such as were honorable, and he had brought up with him from his youth. And parted his kingdom among them.
And he did what?
And he parted his kingdom among them.
And he parted his kingdom among them. Hold on real quick. So he parted his kingdom among them. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 minute, brothers and sisters. I'm in the wrong chapter. Give me 1 second. 1 second. All right, go back and read that part again, Officer George.
The verse 6.
Yep, verse 1.
Wherefore he called his servants, such as were honorable, and he had been brought up with them from his youth, and parted his kingdom among them while he was yet alive.
All right. Sorry about this, y'all. I'm trying to get some information real quick. All right. Go ahead, officer. I'll find it. Go ahead. Keep on reading.
Verse 7. So Alexander reigned 12 years, then died.
So Alexander reigned 12 years, and did he die? So he reigned 12 years and he died. Come on.
Verse 8. And his servants bare rule everyone in his place.
And his servants bare rule everyone in his place.
And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves.
They all put what?
They all put crowns upon themselves.
Now, what I wanted to do is go back up to verse 3. That's what I wanted to make the point. I'm sorry. I went too far. Go ahead.
Verse 3. And went through to the ends of the earth and took spoil of many nations. Insomuch that the earth was quiet before him.
That the earth Now you gotta remember, we was only on this side, or we was only on the eastern hemisphere at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So they says the earth was quiet before him because no one ever been onto the other side of the world.
Right.
So and I'm just giving y'all something to look at right there. So that right there was saying the whole world was on the eastern side of the hemisphere. It wasn't talking about it wasn't including over here in America, Canada. It wasn't including those places. Okay, so that's why I wanted y'all to understand that. What verse was you at? Also, go back to where you were.
Right at the end of 3, it says, "Whereupon he was exalted, and his heart was lifted up."
And his heart was lifted up. Keep on reading from her.
Okay, verse 4. "And he gathered a mighty strong host, and ruled over countries, and nations, and kings."
And he ruled over countries, nations, and kings.
"Who became tributaries unto him. And after these things he fell sick, and perceived that he should die."
And he felt sick, and he perceived that he should die.
"Wherefore he called his servants, such as were honorable, and had been brought up with him from his youth, and parted his kingdom among them."
And he parted his kingdom among them
while he was yet alive.
So it was Ptolemy, Cassander, Seleucus, and Lysimachus. All right, so that was those 4 men that he parted his kingdom amongst them. I think I said that right. All right, so read. Go ahead.
"So Alexander reigned 12 years, and then died.
And he died.
And his servants bear rule over everyone in his place."
And everyone, the servants bear rule, everyone in his place. But what real quick, when he died, I believe, did he die of syphilis?
I've heard something like that, yeah.
I think it's syphilis.
Some people don't admit that, but that's what...
I was actually looking for it, guys. Yeah. I'm sorry. I think he died of syphilis, if I'm not mistaken.
Venereal disease.
Yeah, but if I'm not mistaken, I didn't look that up. But if I don't find it right here, I'll come back in part 2. Come on, read.
Verse 8, "And his servants bear rule, everyone in his place. And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves."
They all put crowns upon themselves. Read.
"So did their sons after them many years. And evils were multiplied."
Oh no! And what happened?
"And evils were multiplied in the earth."
And evils was multiplied in the earth. So when these guys, when they came into as y'all gonna see who these people are, as they came into rulership, the Greeks, evils was multiplied in the earth. All right, so after these people came into rulerships, evils, it was already evil. You gotta remember, God already destroyed the earth before. But evils multiplied more than that when these people took over the earth. That's what God said. That's not my statement, that's God. All right, let's go back to where we was also in the Daniel's so that was about, give me 1 second. I'm almost done. So evils multiplied. Read verse 40 again, 39 and 40, please.
The book of Daniel, chapter 2. Back in Daniel's? Or?
Yeah, Daniel chapter 2, verse 39 again.
The book of Daniel, chapter 2, verse 39. "And after thee shall arise another kingdom inferior to thee, and a third kingdom of brass, which shall bear rule over all the earth."
And that's what we just read about, was the Greeks taking over and they very ruled all over the earth. So when the Greeks took over, this was the first Edomite rulership in the world. It was the first, I'm going to say it again, it was the first Edomite rulership in the world. And that's the so-called white man. Now, don't think nothing is racist, because what y'all got to realize is when you really look at history, what do they teach us in school? They teach us about Alexander the Great. They teach us about Rome. They teach us about these cultures right here, which is their cultures. That's why we starting to learn that. That's the reason why they taught us these things, is because we was learning about their people. That's go ahead. You got something to add?
I was just getting ready to say, me remembering history in back in school, it's like that's where it started.
That's where it started.
That's where it started, talking about Alexander the Great.
Alexander the Great.
And then the Roman guys and stuff.
Yes, and if y'all would notice that even when, I'm just taking a shot right here, even when you go up into the Dark Ages, where they call the Dark Ages, it really wasn't the Dark Ages. It's when the so-called black man ruled. And as y'all gonna see, Septimius Severus defeated Rome. He defeated Rome, and Rome went off until 446, somewhere around there, BC, and chased them off. Well, with Septimius Severus, chased them off into the Caucasus Mountains of Russia, Georgia, and then we ruled 1,000 years. That's where we're gonna go through all this. We're gonna go. I'm just right now. I'm gonna hit on myself, but let me get back to this point. This point right here is verse 40. Read again. Watch
verse
it.
40. And the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron.
The fourth kingdom should be strong as iron. Watch this.
For as much as iron breaketh in pieces.
As much as iron breaketh in pieces.
And subdueth all things.
Read.
And as iron that breaketh all these, shall it break in pieces and bruise.
Now watch this. Now, I want y'all to understand something. That as strong as Alexander the Great was, and they defeated the Persian and Medes. Alexander the Great, write this down. They defeated the Persian and Medes, which is Greeks. Greece defeated the Persian and Medes in 331 BC. 333 to 331 BC. The Greeks defeated the Persian Medes. All right. They defeated King Cyprus. Let's who was I talking about? The Greeks.
Yeah, we was talking about the Persians and Medes being defeated by them.
By the Greeks. And as powerful as the Greeks was, they got defeated by Rome. All right, so the fourth kingdom that we're speaking on, read that again, the fourth kingdom one more time for
It
me.
says, verse 40, and the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron. For as much as iron breaketh in pieces and subdueth all things, and as iron that breaketh all these, shall it break in pieces and bruise. Verse 40.
Shall it break in pieces and what?
And bruise.
And bruise. So you got Rome. Write this down. Rome defeated Greece in 146 BC. Rome defeated the Greeks in 146 BC, and they became what? They became the Greco-Roman era. That became the Greco-Roman era. All right. So they defeated them in 146 BC. But before we get to that, give me before we get to talking about Rome, because I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna spend a lot of time on Rome in part one. In the beginning of part two, it's gonna be all about Rome. And I'm gonna explain to you why, because I know y'all say, well, why are you spending so much time on Rome? Because I gotta show you who Rome is, so I can show you Rome coming back on the Rome coming back on the earth in these times right now. So I'm gonna show you who Rome is back then. heavily. And then when we get to the now, it should be easy for you to understand.
Yeah.
It should be easy for you to understand. Give me Genesis chapter 3. And
the book of Genesis.
Hold on. Go back to Daniel's. Go back to Daniel's real quick. Read the 40 one more time, because I gotta bring everybody back to attention.
Okay, the book of Daniel, chapter 2, in verse 40. And the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron, for as much as iron breaketh in pieces and subdueth all things. And as iron that breaketh all these, shall it break in pieces and bruise.
Shall it break in pieces and what?
And bruise.
And bruise. Now give me Genesis chapter 3 and verse 15.
The book of Genesis chapter 3 and verse 15.
Read.
And I will put enmity between thee and the woman.
So he's talking to the devil right here. I'm going to put enmity between thee and the woman. Read.
And between thy seed and her seed. It shall bruise thy head.
It shall bruise thy head.
And thou shalt bruise his heel.
And thou shalt bruise his heel. He shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. So what you're going to realize is, as what happened to us with the Romans all the way up to now, even though we came back, but the Romans bruised us, and they, from back then, all the way to what?
To now.
To right now. All right. So read that one more time.
The book of Genesis chapter 3 verse 15. And I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed.
Between thy seed and her seed.
It shall bruise thy head.
And it shall bruise thy head.
And thou shalt bruise his heel.
Thou shalt bruise his heel. Now let's read a little bit about Romans. So Roman took over in 146 BC. Give me that one right there. Yes, sir. All right, jump down to, go to the next page. We're going to start right there.
Okay. This is about Rome's transition from republic to an empire. The Roman Republic was founded in 509 BCE after the last Etruscan king that ruled Rome was overthrown. Rome's next government served as a representative democracy in the form of a republic. Initially, Rome's wealthiest families, the partisans, held power, and only they could hold political or religious offices.
So they only can hold, so the people of power only can hold the political offices. Watch this.
Everyone else was considered plebeians. And no member of this group could hold office over a period of nearly 200 years. However, the plebeians fought for and gained power within the government. At the heart of the Roman Republic was the Senate. The Senate advised on matters pertaining to rules governing the city and population. In the Republic, members of the patrons class served as advisors to the other governing bodies of the Republic. Although the Senate did not formally make laws, the prestige of its members gave the Senate great influence over Rome's lawmaking bodies. The Senate lasted as a sole governing body for the Republic for only a brief time, lasting from the Republic's founding in 509 BCE until 494 BCE, when a strike orchestrated by the plebeians resulted in the establishment of the Concilium Plebis, or the Council of Plebes.
All right, so read this real quick for me right here, officer, please. Read that just real quick. All right. Yes, sir.
It says the term plebeians refers to all the free Roman citizens who were not members of the senatorial or equestrian classes.
So they wasn't of the high society. That's what it was. They was not of a high society. So that's who these people was. Now let's go back to the let's go back to where we was.
On here?
Yep.
Okay. As a result, new legislative or law-making bodies of the Roman Republic were formed, called assemblies. These legislative bodies shared power in the following ways. Comitia Centurata. This body decided about war, passed laws, elected magistrates.
Oh no, they did what? Read that one more time.
This body, they decided about war, passed laws, and elected magistrates.
Hold on, let me get there. Okay, I'm with you now. Okay, this body decided about wars, passed laws, elected magistrates. Go ahead.
Okay, council, praetors, and censors considered appeals of capital convictions and conducted foreign relations.
Now, as officers reading this, guys, y'all, what do y'all see common?
It sounds like America, don't it?
It sounds like America, don't it?
Yeah.
So that's why I'm going here. I'm trying to paint the picture. Officer Jordan, Lord be with him, because he's reading it, y'all. He's reading it. Come on, read it.
The Concilium Plebis. This body elected its own officials and formulated decrees for observance by the plebeians class.
Okay, now let's look at the plebeian class as, let's look at them as like they got city councils, where you got a low rate, like the city council people that sit in, and they councilmen in their own little neighborhood. They not really political.
They're what we call Aldermen.
Aldermans. That's what we talking about. They like aldermans. Alright. So these people, that's what these people are like right here. Alright. They got a little pool, but not a what? Not a lot.
No, not a lot, yeah.
Go ahead.
It says this body elected its own officials and formulated decrees for observance by the plebeians class. In 287 BCE, it gained the power to make all decrees binding for the entire Roman community. Comitia Tributa, the tribal assembly.
So that's only if Caesar or whoever was in charge allowed that law to what? Pass. That's only if they allow it. The same thing as today. Go ahead.
It says the tribal assemblies open to all citizens who only could be free adult males, elected minor officials, approved legislative decisions often on local matters, and could wield judicial power, but could only levy fines rather than administer punishment. Leading the republic were two councils who were elected by the legislative assemblies. They served for 1 year, presided over the Roman state, and commanded the Roman military.
Read.
Though their power was somewhat limited by the establishment of other magistrate positions.
You see that? That's what I was telling you right there. Their power was limited to other rulership. Other magistrates is people that was over them.
Yeah.
All right? Read.
They can only go so far.
They only could go so far. Their decision making only went so far. Watch it.
Though their power was somewhat limited by the establishment of other magistrate positions, the council were effectively the heads of state.
Read.
The Republic stood strong for several centuries. However, as Rome's power and territory expanded, internal conflicts began to merge as citizens and families struggled for power.
Hold on. Read that part again. As what?
However, as Rome's power and territory expanded,
as they expanded,
internal conflicts began to merge as citizens and families struggled for power.
That's the same thing you have in the Republicans and the Democrats. The same thing.
Yep.
The same thing. They're cynics, they're Republicans, they're the Democrats. The same thing happens. Watch this, read.
For example, in the 1st century BCE, the famous Roman orator Marcus Cicero, he uncovered a plot by a Roman senator.
Hold on. So it says, let me go back and read that. It says in the first BCE, that BCE is before Common Era. Before Common Era. That's what that means. Go ahead, read.
It says the famous Roman orator Marcus Cicero uncovered a plot by a Roman senator, Lucius Catiline, to overthrow the Roman government. Some citizens, such as the Gracchus brothers, they attempted to institute government reforms and social reforms to help the poor. Ultimately, factions emerged, loyal to either the patricians or plebeians classes, or to a specific military general. Excuse me.
Oh, wow.
Hostilities erupted.
Where you at? I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead. I'm with you now.
It says hostilities erupted, and a series of civil wars plagued the Republic during these civil wars.
You see that the civil wars broke out, meaning Rome against what? Rome. Read.
A prominent general and statesman named Julius Caesar began gaining significant power. He commanded the loyalty of the soldiers in his army.
Read.
And enjoyed access to the substantial wealth after conquering the province of the Senate. Fearful of Caesar's power, demanded he give up command of his army and return to Rome as a citizen.
So they told Caesar to give up his power and return to Rome as a citizen. Watch this.
Caesar refused, instead marching his army south directly into Rome. As a result, another civil war erupted between Caesar and his chief political rival.
Watch this.
Pompey. Caesar emerged victorious and was named dictator of life. A dictator for life. Previously, the title dictator was given to an appointed and temporary leader in time of military emergency. Other leaders within the Republic feared Caesar would become a tyrant.
Stop. You know this, it says the dictator was given unto an appointed or temporary leader in times of what? Military emergency. What happens like when the president died, the vice president steps up. You know, these are the same things.
Yeah, they are.
Same things that you see right now here in America. So we hoping that if you're watching, we're painting the picture for y'all to understand why we're going to dig into Rome so much. America can hide from y'all. but they can't have Rome from y'all because that's their bread and butter.
Yeah.
That's who they labeled out. That's who they go by. And we're gonna show y'all that in the scriptures. Read.
It says other leaders within the republic.
Hold on, one more time. And one more thing. If you see Rome, who you see? America. We're gonna show you all the way down to the bread and butter of them. Watch this.
Says other leaders within the republic feared Caesar will become a tyrant with his new title. To prevent this, a group of senators conspired and assassinated him.
They conspired and they killed they killed Caesar. Read.
In response to Caesar's death, his nephew
Augustus
and heir Augustus, he defeated the conspirators.
Read.
He then established himself as the first Roman emperor.
So now he went to emperor. He went to emperor. Watch this, read.
He says the Roman Empire dramatically shifted power away from the representative democracy to centralized imperial authority. With the emperor holding the most power, for example, under Augustus' reign, emperors gained the ability to introduce and veto laws.
See, so now that's where you got right now with the president. Like, that's what you got with the president. He can veto laws. He can slide them through, or he can veto them.
Yep.
Or he can hold them up where they just don't go nowhere.
Yep.
Watch this, read.
As well as command the army. Furthermore, the emperor wielded significant authority over those who served in low-level executive positions.
So they killed Caesar, but then Augustus came in there and did what? Augustus came in there and took over heavily.
Yeah.
He came over and took over heavily. He said, I'm emperor.
He made sure wasn't nobody over him.
He made sure nobody was over him or nobody could conspire against him. Read.
No citizen could hold office without the emperor's consent.
Hold on. Read it again.
No citizen could hold office without the emperor's consent.
You couldn't hold office without his consent, meaning you had to have permission. You got to be fit for that office. If you wasn't fit for that office or you went against him any type of way, you veto. We get you out of there.
Yeah.
No, he ain't. No. Matter of fact, kill him. Go ahead, read.
As a result,
because they was valid. We gonna bring it all out.
Yeah.
Read.
As a result of this redistribution of power, the popular assembly.
Hold on. As a result of this redistribution of power, because this is new. This was new. They see when you did evil, more evil came along. They should have just left Caesar there.
Yeah. Yeah.
At least with Caesar, they can have a back and forth. With Augustus, it was no back and forth.
Right.
At all. Read.
It says, as a result of this redistribution of power, the popular assemblies that functioned during the Republican period became less important and lost power.
Ooh, so they little committee that we read about at first, at the beginning of this, what was they called? The plebeians. Plebeians. They went down drain. Plebeians no more. Let me see how much more. Read that next point, because this is very important. Watch this.
It says, while the assembly became virtually ceremonial, the Senate survived.
The Senate survived?
Primarily, the Senate survived during the early period of the empire as a legitimizer of an emperor's rule.
Hold on. They had a Senate. Who made up the Senate?
Yep.
They had a Senate back then. What they got today? The Senate. Same thing.
Made up.
I ain't that smart, but dang, I can figure this one out right here.
Yeah, the power given to the emperor still came from the Senate, since the Senate was composed of Rome's elite.
Watch this.
And intellectual citizens.
Intellectual citizens, come on.
They impacted public opinion. With this power, the Senate could declare an emperor to be an enemy of the state. Oh,
so the senators the Senate can declare the emperor to be an enemy of the state. Watch this.
Or following an emperor's removal or death.
Or death.
The Senate could officially wipe the record of his reign from official history.
Stop.
Wow.
So you see now, that's why when you look at our Senate of today, they powerful.
Yeah.
That's why people want to be in a senator.
Yeah.
They rather be, the senator, usually what happens is a lot of people go from they either go from Senate to president or governor to president. Mm-hmm. Because the governor got a lot of power in the state. The senator got a lot of power in the state, but over all the states.
All the states, yeah.
Overall. See what I mean?
That's powerful. That's powerful.
Go ahead.
At the time of Augustus' reign, the Roman Empire had solidified control over the Italian peninsula, established the North African colonies following his victory over Carthage during the Punic Wars, and controlled large swaths of territory in Spain and Gaul.
Hold on. So Romans, this is going to be important for later on down the line. Romans control large territories of Spain. All right, come on. And Gaul, come on.
Under the emperors, Roman territory expanded farther, dominating most of the European continent.
Read it again.
It says, under the emperors, Roman territories expanded farther, dominating most of the European continent.
Read.
Including Britain and major areas of modern-day Eastern Europe.
You see that? Hey, so now, listen up. Spain, we're going to bring this out in part 2 or part 3. Spain was conquered by Rome. Rome is Idumea. Idumea is Edom. Edom is Esau. They all in the same game. Same people. So I want y'all to understand this. So when they conquered Spain, that's why you have let me see, you have the so-called white Spain, and you have the so-called black Spaniards. The white Spaniards. All right? Everybody understand that? All right? Then also, they did what? They conquered Europe. And including Britain as major areas of modern day Eastern Europe. So who's in Europe right now? Rome. Who's in Britain right now?
Rome.
Who's in Spain right now?
Rome.
All right, let's go.
Edomites.
So Esau is in those places. So now watch this. Keep on reading.
The expansion. While bringing to Rome great wealth, power, and prestige, ultimately helped bring about its downfall. Even with the Roman road system contributing to the mobility of the military and trade, the cost of maintaining the vast empire weighed heavily on Rome. So
Rome had a road system contributing to the mobile of the military and trade. Romans made roads.
Yes.
Do anybody ever seen the road? I wish we had the thing set up where I could show you. I really wanted this done where I could show you that Romans they made brick roads. Brick roads. The same thing they do what? Today.
Yep.
Same thing they do today.
They call them cobblestone roads and whatever back in the day.
Yeah, they was brick roads.
Brick roads.
What the Romans was I was just reading looking at something about Rome, and Rome was they were saying Rome was the first one that made concrete roads. With the Romans is why everything is concrete now, because they built everything from concrete back then. And right now they do the same what? Same thing. All structures is like that because Rome did that. Now, believe me, I believe that we probably did it first, And they are copycatted off. I believe that
yeah.
because they always steal everything that we do.
Of course.
But let's go ahead, keep on going.
It says, where did I stop at? Even says, even with the road system contributing to the mobility of the military trade and the cost of maintaining the vast empire weighed heavily on Rome's treasury and its political administration. Added to this burden were increasing raids and attacks by foreign tribes and communities. Emperors attempted to solve these problems through internal reforms. Mm-hmm. For example, the Emperor Diocletian, they split control of the Roman Empire into two halves, a western and an eastern portion. Diocletian believed the territories throughout the empire would be easier to control and support if they were overseen by two administrations. Further emperors attempted similar reforms, but ultimately internal conflicts between the eastern and western halves, external pressures by foreign tribes, and of the ongoing depletion of Rome's wealth and infrastructure finally rendered the empire vulnerable to collapse. In CE 476, the last of the Western Roman emperors, Romulus Augustulus, he was dethroned. Nevertheless, the eastern half of the Roman Empire, identified in history as the Byzantine Empire, would last another 1,000 years until falling to the Ottoman Turks in CE 1453.
That's a lie. Rome was done in 1476. They was done. The Byzantine, all that was done. Who the Ottoman Turks defeated was us. They defeated us at that time. All right, they defeated us, which is the Israelites that was in rulership. We took over Rome. We took over Europe. We took over Britain. We took over all of that. Okay. So now, as we go on, watch this, because I'm ready to show y'all something. Where are we at? We done with this. I believe, yeah, we done with that. Great job, Officer George. Thank you. All right, we done with that. Man. No. Okay, that's it. All right, so from right there, let's give me Officer George. Give me Daniel's chapter 2. I won't go back to 41, verse 41.
The book of Daniel, chapter 2, and verse 41. And whereas thou sawest the feet and the toes, part of potter's clay, and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided.
The kingdom shall be divided.
But there shall be in it of the strength of the iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay.
I just want 41. Where we at right now?
At the end of 41.
Okay, so it says that the king shall but shall in the end of his strength of the iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay. Watch this, read.
Verse 42. And as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken.
That means broken means brittle. All right, so the kingdom was going to be strong, and so this last kingdom was going to be strong, and it was going to be brittle. And you're going to see as we go on in this class. Watch this, read.
Verse 43. And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay.
And where you saw iron mixed with miry clay.
They shall mingle themselves.
They shall what?
Mingle themselves with the seed of men.
With the seed of men. So what happens is these people was going to mingle themselves. The Rome, not at that time, but in another time, they're going to mingle themselves with different people. Watch this, read.
But they shall not cleave one to another.
But the people is not going to cleave one to another.
Even as iron is not mixed with clay.
And even as iron is not mixed with clay. So at a point in time, verse 42, as the toes and the feet were part of iron and part of clay, and the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken, meaning brittle. Whereas thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay, and they shall mingle themselves with the seeds of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not cleaved with clay. So we already know that America is what they call it. America is the one big melting pot. They're a melting pot. All right. So now watch this. Give me Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 1.
Habakkuk.
Right there. What page are you?
Down the green panel, Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 1. It says, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower and watch to see what he will say unto me.
Read.
And what I shall answer when I am reproved.
So watch this. Read.
And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain.
So he said, write the vision and make it plain upon the table. Read.
That he may run that readeth it.
That he may run that readeth. The table is a book. Write it plain in the book, talking about the Bible. Watch this, read.
Says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time.
For the vision is a yet for appointed time. So it wasn't at that time.
Right.
The vision for a appointed time. Watch what it says, read.
But at the end, it shall speak.
But at the end, at the last days, it shall speak, brothers and sisters. Watch this.
And not lie.
And not lie.
Though it tarry.
Though it takes a while.
Wait for it.
Wait for it.
Because it will surely come.
It will surely come.
It will not tarry.
It will not stay. It will not be as long as it is supposed to be. Tarry means to be a while, wait a while, but it will not be as long as you think it will. That's why he said wait, but it will come. Watch this. Come on.
Verse 4. And behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in it.
Read.
But the just shall live by his faith.
His soul, behold, his soul, talking about Esau, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him. But the just shall live by faith. Watch this.
Yea, also, because he transgressed by wine.
By lies.
He is a proud
He's
man.
a proud man.
Neither keepeth at home.
He neither keepeth at home. Watch this.
Who enlarges his desire as hell.
Now, we just read in this right here in the wrong transition of from Republican to Empire. We just read right there that Rome, when they was extending, it was fights between them.
Trying to expand.
Why? Read that again. What did it say?
It says,
Verse 5.
He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desire as hell.
He enlarges his desire as hell. Watch this.
And is as death.
And he is as death. So this man enlarges his desire in captivities. Because that's what hell is, captivity.
Yeah.
So he loves to put people in captivity. He loves to expand to keep people in captivity. Right. By his what? Either by his policies or by brute force.
Yep.
All right, watch this. Come on.
And cannot be satisfied.
And he cannot be satisfied. Watch this.
But he gathereth unto him all nations.
He gathereth unto him what?
He gathereth unto him all nations.
That's what we just read in Daniel chapter 2, verse 42 and 43. Let's read that again. Daniel 2, 42 and 43. Go ahead.
The book of Daniel, chapter 2, and verse 43. And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay,
read.
They shall mingle themselves.
With
the seed of men. But they shall not cleave one to another. Even as iron is not mixed with clay.
That's America. America heaped to themselves all people. And this is why we, right here, this is going into future prophecy. Go back to Habakkuk 2 and verse 5 again. Watch this.
The book of Habakkuk,
Now,
chapter 2 and...
Yeah, verse 4. Start with verse 4.
Verse 4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up in him, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright.
Is not upright
in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Yea, also, because he transgressed by lies.
Because he transgressed by lies.
He's a proud man.
He's a proud man. Because he can fool everybody, trick everybody. He's a proud man. Read.
Neither keepeth at home.
Neither do he keep the home. He's in everybody else's country. Read.
Who enlarges his desire as hair.
Read.
And is as death.
And as is death. Either you go get captured or he's going to put you to what? Death. Watch this. Come on.
And cannot be satisfied.
And he cannot be satisfied. Read.
But gathereth unto him.
He gathered to him.
All nations.
All nations.
And heapeth unto him.
And heapeth unto him.
All people.
All people. Now watch this. I want to deal with that satisfied. He cannot be satisfied. Give me Obadiah. You know what I want. Obadiah. Let's start with verse 1.
The book of Obadiah, verse 1. The vision of Obadiah. Thus saith the Lord God concerning Edom.
Read.
We have heard a rumor from the Lord. An ambassador is sent among the heathen.
Ambassador is sent among the heathen.
Arise ye, and let us arise up against her in battle.
So we had a rumor from the Lord. He sent an ambassador. He said, arise, let us rise up against her in battle. Read.
And behold, I have made thee small among the heathen.
He said, I made you small among their nations.
Thou art greatly despised.
That you are greatly despised. You cannot put that in nobody else's face but except America. America is the only, I don't know no other nation that everybody hates more than America. The Palestinians hate America. The Russian, they own people hate Russian. The Europeans hate them. They gonna shoot the missile with them.
Yeah.
The South Koreans hate you. Mm-hmm. The Japanese is with you, but they still don't like you for what you did to Pearl Harbor. I mean, for them after Pearl Harbor, right, by dropping the bombs on Nagasaki and Hiroshima, but you bullied them out of it. Yeah. China don't like you. What did I say? North Korea? North Korea don't like you. They are despised. Read it again.
He says, behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised.
Thou art greatly despised.
The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee.
Read.
Thou that dwellest in the cliffs of the rock.
Thou that dwellest in the cliffs of the rock.
Whose habitation is high.
If y'all ever look up the picture of Mount Seir. At Mount Seir, it looks like the Rome columns inside of a mountain, built inside of a mountain. Yeah. That's how you know that this is the same people. When you go to their courthouse today and you look at their structures, look at Chicago's Soldier Stadium. It's made with the structure of Rome. Yes. Look at the courthouses, their structures. It's made with them columns of Rome, the same columns.
Yep, them big round columns.
I had
it might be on the front of that first one I had, but
yep, I got it. Give me 1 second. Hold on. Because I just printed it off. I know I did. Give me 1 second, guys. Bear with me. It's on one of the paper. Ah, there you go. There you go. Right here. If y'all can see it, yep, you can see it clear. There you go. Right there. That's how, when you see these structures right here, this is Rome. Mm-hmm. This is Rome structure. Y'all see this? That's Rome structures
Right
right
in
there.
America.
Right here in America. All right, they got them right here in America. So now, where was we at, Officer Yours? I'm sorry.
We were still in Obadiah.
Okay, come on, back to Obadiah.
It says, the pride of thy heart hath deceived thee.
The pride of thy heart is deceived thee.
Thou that dwellest in the cliffs of the rock.
Thou that dwellest in the cliffs of the rock. That's why I went to show y'all there. Watch this.
Whose habitation is high.
Y'all, who habitation? Now, let me show y'all something. Wasn't no skyscrapers made until America made skyscrapers. America made skyscrapers. Yep. You got to remember, America followed, Rome, Esau, let me say Esau. Yep. Esau followed heavily Babylonian ways. I'm gonna show you why I'm saying that. You remember they made the Tower of Babel. The Tower of Babel was a tall building thinking that it could go reach up into the way to heaven. Who duplicated those same buildings? America. Not just America, but Esau.
Yeah, they the same people, so they like the same thing.
I gotta say Esau because I don't want to say America.
Yeah.
Esau duplicated those things. Edom, Adumia.
Yeah.
All right, everybody understand it?
Yeah.
All right. So now let's go. The cliffs of the rocks.
Whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down?
Because they had power. At this time right here, this is not talking about in that time. This is talking about because you got to realize Obadiah, this is a future prophecy that Obadiah is writing right here. Right. Because Esau was not even in power until Alexander the Great. This was written before Alexander the Great.
Right.
All right. So this, he says, who shall bring me down? Who shall bring me down? Watch what he's going to say.
Who shall bring me down to the ground? Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle.
We're going to get to that in a minute. That's coming up. Stay in tune. Who exalt thyself as the eagle. Read.
And though thou set thy nest among the stars.
Don't they set their nest amongst the stars?
Thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord.
So you see that? Then he said, I'm going to bring you down. We will be visiting Obadiah in part 2. So don't say, well, damn, y'all going over the same. I just went into this to show y'all right here. The part I wanted was, this is the part I wanted. Read verse 5. Verse 5. This is what I wanted.
It says, if thieves came to thee.
If thieves came to thee.
If robbers by night.
Read.
How art thou cut off?
Come on.
Would they not have stolen till they had enough?
Would they not have stolen till they had enough? But watch this.
If great gatherers came to thee.
Great gatherers came to thee.
Would they not leave some grain?
See, Esau takes until it's all gone. Esau takes till it's all gone. The court system right now, child support owe me 10,000. Talking about I owe them 20,000. How the hell is that possible? How the hell is that possible? How is that possible? I've been paying since I've been working on my job. How is that possible?
Right.
I overpaid them. They don't stop taking from you until they don't have enough.
Even Habakkuk said he never can be satisfied.
They can never be satisfied. These people would take, when you in the grave, they in your pocket. They in the grave digging down there and give me that money you got in your pocket. Somebody put $1,000 in your pocket when you went in the grave. Yeah. That Esau is taking the money out of the grave.
Yeah.
So now it says, do the grape gatherers, when they need some grapes, let's go back to Daniel's. Let's go back to Daniel's.
Verse 44.
2 and where was I? No, we was at, I'm sorry, not Daniel's, Becca.
Back to Becca.
Back to Becca. Let's go back to there. And where was we at? Verse 2 and verse 3, verse 5 again.
The book of Habakkuk, chapter 2 and verse 5.
That's why I went there. Read.
Yea. Also, Because he transgresseth by wine.
He transgressed by lies.
He is a proud man.
Read.
Neither keepeth at home.
Because he's in everybody else's country. That's why they got bases scattered all over the world. They got bases where they can be in other people's homelands. Read.
Who enlarges his desire as hell.
Read.
And is as death.
And he as death. Watch this. I'm gonna address that as death after we get through with this. Read.
And cannot be satisfied.
Read.
But gathereth unto him all nations.
He cannot be satisfied because he's not satisfied. He wants all. He wants everything. He don't want just a little. He wants everything. He don't want 3/4. He wants everything. Read.
And heapeth unto him all people.
And he heaped unto him all people, because the more people that he can bring to this country, the more jobs that he can develop. The more jobs he can develop, the more taxes you pay. The more taxes you pay, the bigger that money is. And never let America tell you that they broke, because God said this nation is not broke. God said this is the richest kingdom on earth. That's what God said. Read.
Verse 6. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him.
Read that again.
It says, shall not all these take up a parable against him?
A parable is a proverb. Read.
And a taunting proverb against him?
Against a riddle against them. Read.
And say, woe to him that increases that which is not his.
See, that's what they do. They increase it. This land is not theirs, but they increase the hell out of this land. Israel is not theirs, but they increase the hell out of Israel. Woe unto him that increaseth, woe unto him that increaseth that which is not his. God gave Israel, God gave Esau Mount Seir. Why does he always seem to make his way into our land? We're gonna visit into that too. Mm-hmm. Why he always seem to make his way into our land? And how did he find his way over here? You remember when I told you Spain? Remember I told you to remember Spain, right?
Yeah.
What is about Spain? Christopher Columbus came from Spain.
Yeah.
From Portugal.
Yeah.
He got permission from Queen Isabella to come on this side of the what?
Of the world.
So what happened is that what I want y'all to realize is you gotta remember Rome conquered Spain. So who was the Spaniards that was coming on this side? They was Edomites. They was Edomites to come to what? Conquer the Israelites that was over on this side. How did they know that? From Ezra. And also they had traitors of our people with them. All right, watch this. Verse 6.
Habakkuk 2 and verse 6. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increases that which is not his. How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay.
He lays himself with thick clay. He lays himself with thick clay. He keeps adding and adding and adding onto him. Money, people, whatever he adds onto him. So watch this. Knowledge, lies. From there, give me this is what I want to give me. Revelation chapter 6 verse 4, Officer George. Let me get there first. But this is why I'm going here. It says, yea, also he transgressed by wine, proud man, never keeping at home, and Lord, his desire is hell, and what is the desire is hell and what? Death. His desire is hell and death. All right, now watch this. I'm going to show you this. What did Rome love more than what did the Greeks love? War. What did Rome love? War. Mm-hmm. What do America love?
War.
All right, watch this. Revelation 6 and start with just go to the point. Verse 4.
Verse 4. The book of Revelation chapter 6 verse 4. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat there on to take peace from the earth.
Stop. What did we read in Maccabees 1? What did we read? Give me that. Go back to Maccabees. First Maccabees 1 and verse 9. Go to Maccabees verse 1 and verse 9.
The book of Maccabees, chapter 1 and verse 9.
Read.
And after his death.
And after Alexander the Great death, which is an Edomite, which is Idumean, read.
They all put crowns upon themselves.
They put crowns upon themselves.
So did their sons after them many years.
Read.
And evils were multiplied in the earth.
Now evils was multiplied in the earth. They put crowns upon themselves and evils. Now let's go back right here. Revelation 64. Watch this.
The book of Revelation, chapter 6, verse 4. And there went out another horse that was red.
That was what?
Red.
That was red. That was Esau. Read.
And power was given to him.
All the horses that is talking about in Becca and the horses is talking about Esau. Read. And power was given unto him what?
And power was given unto him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth.
To take what?
To take peace from the earth.
That's why I went right here to Maccabees to show you that evils increase. Read.
And that they should kill one another.
That they, hold on, that they what?
And that they should kill one another.
Read.
And there was given unto him a great sword.
So now we're going to visit that again. Verse 64, and there was given unto him a great sword. They was given unto him a great sword. That sword is not talking about this sword. It's not talking about this sword. It's talking about a great sword. IBM, what is it? IBM?
The missiles, the international, the intercontinental ballistic missile.
Yes. That's missile. That was the great sword that was given unto him. Woo.
Yep.
So we're going to show y'all. We're going to show y'all today from her. Give me Genesis chapter 25, verse 21.
The book of Genesis, chapter 25 and verse 21.
So now let me explain something to y'all. The first part one of this class is for y'all to identify who these people are.
That's right.
The second part of the class is going to we're identifying them from the beginning all the way until now. So this part two is we're gonna bring part one out and show you who they are today. Read.
The book of Genesis, chapter 25, verse 21. And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife, because she was barren. And the Lord was entreated of him. And Rebekah, his wife, conceived. And the children struggled together within her. And she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb.
2 nations in thy womb.
2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people.
Read.
And the elder shall serve the younger. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment.
And the first came out all red all over like a hairy garment. Read.
And they called his name Esau.
And he called his name Esau. Watch this.
And after that came his brother out.
Read.
And his hand took a hold of Esau's heel.
Read.
And his name was called Jacob.
Come on.
And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them.
That 80, every time you see score, as a score is 20. So 2 scores is what? 40. 3 scores is what?
60.
4 scores is what?
80.
All right, so everybody understand that. So he was 3 score. He was 60 years old when he had these boys. All right, and I want to go back to it says, and the first came out I read all over like a hairy garment, and then the other one came out. They didn't mention no color,
right? Because
he was as the dust of the ground as everybody else was. Esau was the only oddball. Now, when y'all look in the world, and y'all look at the Caucasian people, I'm just showing y'all something. When y'all look at the Caucasian people, you ever notice that all the other nations got milling, except their bloodline? And you got to remember, their bloodlines can be Spaniards. They also can be the Turks that you see of today. All right, the Ottoman Turks. They can be them. The Arabs, they'll mix themselves with them as well. So Esau is mixed themselves among different nations. So when you see them and you don't see, if they don't sleep with no one of melon, they are that same red
characteristic
person. That same red baby that came out, that's them. If they don't sleep with no one of melon, they stay that red color.
Get real cold at red. Get mad at red.
There you go.
Slap upside the head at
red. Read. Come on.
Yeah, verse 26. And after that came his brother out.
Now, verse 27.
27. And the boys grew. And Esau was a cunning hunter and a man of the field. And Jacob was a plain man.
Stop. Esau was a cunning hunter. What comes with hunting? What comes with hunting? Skills. You got to have skills to hunt.
Yeah.
You got to be able to lay and wait for prey.
Right.
This is going to help y'all out in a little bit. When you a hunter, you got to lay and wait for prey.
Be good with...
What do an eagle do?
But he knows how to wait for that prey.
He'll fly around. He'll sit up on the highest thing. And when he spot that mouse or that rabbit or whatever he wants, he scoops in. I'm giving y'all some characteristics right here. So Esau was a, read it again.
He said the boys grew. And Esau was a cunning hunter.
He was a cunning hunter. Meaning he was smooth with his things.
Yeah.
Meaning he knew how to hunt.
Yeah.
He knew, when you know how to hunt, you know how to kill.
Yeah.
When you know how to hunt, you know how to that's why they got those special forces like Navy SEALs and all that type of stuff.
SWAT.
Green Berets and all that stuff. Because those are special forces. Those men know how to go in and to extract somebody out of trouble. They know how to go in and kill their target and get out.
Yeah.
They know how to get their prey. They know how to jump on their prey. I'm looking for some work. Come on, read.
It says, the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, and he was a man of the field.
He was a man of the meaning. He was in the world. He knew how to handle himself. In the field of this thing, he knew how to handle himself in the field. He knew how to evade animals. He knew how to trap animals.
Yep.
All right, read.
And Jacob, he was a plain man.
Jacob was a plain man.
Dwelling in tents.
So watch this. I'm going to show you what Jacob did. Read.
And Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison.
Read.
But Rebekah loved Jacob.
Come on.
And Jacob side potted.
That's what black folks do. We cook. Esau catch the stuff. Jacob cooked the stuff. Because Jacob knew how to season it and everything.
That's right.
Read.
And Jacob side potted. And Esau came from the field. And he was
hey,
trying to keep my composure.
Don't get mad at me because black people know how to cook. Right. I'm just telling you the truth. Right. I mean, we know how to cook.
That's all right.
Read again.
Oh, wow. It says, I lost my spot. And Jacob side pottage. And Esau came from the field, and he was faint. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee.
Feed thee, I pray thee.
With that same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom.
Read.
And Jacob said, sell me this day thy birthright. And Esau said, behold, I am at the point to die. And what profit shall this birthright do to me?
Read.
And Jacob said, swear to me this day. And he swore unto him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob.
Read.
And then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentil, And he did eat and drink, and he arose up and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright.
Now watch this. I want to make a point here because it says, and Esau said, "Behold, I am at the point to die. What profit shall this birthright to be to do?" Let me show you another characteristics of Esau. Give me 27. Genesis 27. Give me Genesis chapter 27 and verse. Give me 1 second. Just start with verse 39.
The book of Genesis, chapter 27, verse 39. And Isaac, his father, answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. And by the sword shalt thou live.
By the sword shall I live.
And shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck.
So Esau's characteristic, one of his characteristics was he was gonna be a warrior. He was gonna be able to handle himself in war. He was gonna be able to handle himself in what? In war. Jump over to verse 35.
Verse 35, and he said, Thy brother came with subtlety.
Thy brother came with subtlety, deceit.
And have taken thy blessing.
Read.
And he said, Is not he rightly named Jacob? For he hath supplanted me with these 2 times.
He has supplanted me these 2 times.
He took away my birthright.
Now stop. You see Esau right there just lied to his father.
Yeah.
He said, what good is this birthright to me? I'm hungry. I don't care about nothing about this birthright.
Right.
But right here, he said, he took my birthright.
Right.
No, he never took your birthright. And then also, it was not Jacob, but it was his own mother that made Jacob do that to Esau because God wanted to do it.
Yeah.
It was not Jacob that came up with that ideal. It was his mother that came up with that ideal. So it was his own mom that did it.
Because didn't Most High tell her?
Yes.
That the elders should serve the young?
Yes. So she understood. So I just wanted to bring that out for y'all before we get into some more of this. So now give me your Zendavart Compact Bible Dictionary.
Oh, sorry.
Zombie. Go to page 156. Thank you. Good. 156.
Page 156, Esau.
All right, read that. Esau.
This is the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. Going to page 156, reading Esau. He was the firstborn.
No, read Esau, read that what's in the parentheses.
Okay, Esau. They have in parentheses, which meaning hairy.
Which means what?
Hairy.
Read.
Firstborn of twin brothers. Twin brothers.
Firstborn of the twin brothers.
Esau and Jacob. Sons of Isaac and Rebekah. Sold his birthright.
So that you see that these are white scholars right here. They same people. He said he sold his birthright
for a mess of pottage. To his brother. He married two Hittite women.
He married two Hittite women.
He sought to kill Jacob for tricking him out of Isaac's blessing.
All right, so y'all see that. That's all I want right there. They'll give me, so it's Esau. Give me Edom, page 141 and 1 through 142.
This is still in the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. We're looking up Edom here on page 141. Edom or Edomite. Red. The nation and its people who were the descendants of Esau. He founded the country. So his name is equated with Edom.
Great.
The country was also called Seir or Mount Seir.
Mount Seir,
which was the name of the territory in which the Edomites lived.
So that's where Edomites live, was Mount Seir. Come on.
It says the kingdom of Edom was founded during the 13th century BC, according to archaeological evidence.
We don't jig with that. Go ahead, read.
It says, in the process of about 4 centuries, the government of Edom changed from one under tribal chiefs to a monarchy.
All right, stop right there. Read but David.
How far down is it?
Right under that.
But David conquered them and put garrisons throughout the whole land.
So David conquered them and put garrisons throughout the whole land. Go ahead, keep on reading Judah.
It says Judah lost Edom in the reign of Jehoram when she revolted against him about 847 BC.
Hold on, because I don't want all that. I just want to. All right, now watch this. This populated. You see Judah. It says when Jerusalem was destroyed and Judah was depopulated by the Babylonians. You see that? It's in the middle of the page, right there. In the middle of the page.
This is Judah destroyed.
Right here. Right there. See it?
Where it says Judah captured?
Yeah, when it says Jerusalem, when Jerusalem. Right there under.
When Jerusalem was destroyed.
When Jerusalem was destroyed.
And Judah depopulated by the Babylonians in 586 BC.
Read.
The Edomites rejoiced over the affliction of the Judeans.
See, you see that the Edomites rejoiced over the affliction of the Judeans. Read.
And began to take over the southern part of Palestine. Eventually, they penetrated as far north as Hebron. So
they was in our what?
They was in our homeland, our territory. This action intensified the already smoldering hatred between the Jews and the Edomites.
Read. Oh, no, go all the way down to Edom.
Edom figures prominently in the prophetic scriptures. And the prophetic scriptures read as the scene of great future judgment.
And the scene of what? A scene of what?
They prominently in the prophetic scriptures as the scene of great future judgment. She is the only neighbor of the Israelites who was not given any promise of mercy from God.
You see that? So God didn't promise them no mercy. So all right, so we got that. So I just wanted to show y'all that Edom was gonna, and future promises, so they still what? Around. Give me Psalms 102 and 1.
The book of Psalms, chapter 102, and verse 1. There. The book of Psalms, chapter 102, verse 1. Hear my prayer, O Lord, and let my cry come unto thee. Hide not thy face from me.
Hide not thy face from me.
In the day when I am in trouble. Incline thy ear unto me. In the day when I call, answer me speedily. For my days are consumed like smoke, and my bones are burned as an hearth. My heart is smitten and withered like grass, so that I forget to eat my bread. My reason of the voice of my groaning, my bones cleave to my skin. I'm like a pelican of the wilderness.
So he says, his groaning, his bones cleave to his skin. Read.
I'm like a pelican.
I'm like a pelican
of the wilderness. I'm like an owl of the desert.
Read.
I watch and am as a sparrow alone upon the housetop.
Now, y'all wonder, well, I know y'all wondering is, well, why is he reading that? Right? Y'all wondering why, right? Well, why did he read that scripture? Watch this, brothers and sisters. We're going to read verse 6 and 7 again, Officer George. Watch this.
The book of Psalms, chapter 102, verse 6. I am like a pelican of the wilderness. I am like an owl of the desert.
You notice he said, I am like a pelican of the wilderness. I am like an owl of the desert. Read.
I watch and am as a sparrow alone upon the housetop.
I am as a sparrow alone upon the housetops. You notice, so he's comparing himself to a what? Animal, right? Now watch this. Give me Revelation chapter 12, verse 3. Stay with me, brothers and sisters. Learn something today. All right? Stay with me and learn something today. If your spirit ain't right, you ain't going to be with me. 12 in Revelation 12 and 3. Watch this.
The book of Revelation, chapter 12, verse 3.
Read.
And there appeared another wonder in heaven. And behold, a great red dragon.
There was a great red dragon, brothers and sisters. Watch this.
Having 7 heads.
7 heads.
And 10 horns.
And 10 horns.
And 7 crowns upon his head.
So it was a great red dragon that appeared in heaven, having 7 heads and 7 crowns. 7 crowns and 10 horns. I'm sorry. Thank you. And 10 horns. Now watch this, brothers and sisters. This is an allegory. Give me the definition of allegory. Hold on real quick. I'm sorry. So this is an allegory, brothers and sisters. All right. Let me give you the definition of allegory.
Excuse me, bless you.
Bless you.
Wow, wait. And like my Dayquil must have wore off.
Right. All right. Definition of allegory.
An allegory is a story, a poem, or a picture that can be interpreted to reveal a hidden meaning.
To reveal a what?
A hidden meaning.
A hidden meaning.
Typically a moral or a political one.
All right, so it's to give you a meaning, a hidden meaning. What does that say right there?
A parable.
A parable. Let's see what a parable is. A parable is a what?
Parable is a simple story used to illustrate a moral or spiritual lesson as told by Jesus in the gospel.
So a spiritual lesson. Let me see. I got one more that I want to metaphor.
A metaphor is a figure of speech in which a word or phrase is applied to an object or action to which it is not literally applicable.
All right. So you see that. So so when what we're doing is we're going to show you the allegory. Let's go back to Revelations 12:3. Watch this.
Revelation chapter 12 verse 3. And it says, and there appeared another wonder in heaven.
There appeared another wonder in heaven.
And behold, it was a great red dragon.
There was a great red dragon.
Having 7 heads.
7 heads.
10 horns.
And 10 horns. So now watch this, brothers and sisters. So with that, give me Job. Give me Nehemiah 8:8 first. Nehemiah 8:8.
The book of Nehemiah, chapter 8 and verse 8. So they read the book in the law of God distinctly and gave the sense.
And gave the what?
And gave the sense.
So they read in the law of God distinctly and gave the sense. Is that it?
And caused them to understand the reading.
So that's what we're doing right now. We're going to cause you to understand the reading of this scripture. Right. It says, I seen a great red dragon. So we went to Genesis 25 and 25 and 25 to show you that a red baby was born. All right. Now we went to Psalms 1 through 7 to show you that he said, I am as a bird and I am as a let's read
a sparrow.
A sparrow, yeah, a sparrow and hold on, because I don't want to chop it up. I want it to make sense where nobody be like struggling. It says, I am like a pelican in the wilderness. I am like an owl of the desert. Talking about his what? His self. Yeah. Talking about a man is like an owl, not an owl like a what? Man. Give me Job chapter 29, please. Job chapter 30, verse 29. Now, this should be a lot easier for y'all brothers and sisters to understand this scripture now. Watch it.
Book of Job, chapter 30, verse 29. I am a brother to dragons.
I am a brother to dragons.
And a companion to owls.
And so with Psalms 102, 6 and 7, now you understand that I am a brother to dragon. The dragon is just referring to another person, not a little dragon, but another person. So the allegory was the hidden meaning of the allegory in Revelation 12 talking about the dragon. It was talking about him being a brother to Esau, which is red, because the dragon color was what? Red. So it was an allegory showing you that the man was red. That's all it was doing. All right. So everybody got that. I hope was that clear to all of y'all?
Yeah.
All right. So from her, let's go back. Also, let's go back to Second Ezra. I'm sorry. Second Ezra, chapter 6, and I want verse 7.
The book of Second Ezra in the Apocrypha, chapter 6 and verse 7.
Watch this.
And it reads, it says, then answered I and said, when shall be the parting asunder of the time?
What's going to be the end of times?
Or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth?
Read.
And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him.
Read.
Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau.
Come on.
For Esau is the end of the world.
For Esau is the end of the world.
And Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth.
And Esau is Jacob is the beginning of that which follows. So Esau is the reason why I had to go here is because you have ignorant Israelite brothers. And I'm not trying to be, I'm talking about on a simple mind level, not talking about them in a bad way,
right.
But they on a simple mind level, they thinking that Esau's the herb, Esau's this. Or you have some Israelites or even the people of the world say that Esau is already dead. But right here it says that Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning that followeth. So if why are they not saying Jacob is dead?
Right.
Who is Jacob then? See what I mean?
Yeah.
Who is Jacob? But they know who Esau is.
Mm-hmm.
That let you know that they truly know who Esau is.
That's right.
Because they trying to still hide his what? Identity. But I guarantee you after these 2 weeks class or 3 weeks class, you would never not know their identity. I guarantee you. It says, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is that followed, that the beginning of that which is followed. All right, from there, Officer George, give me, go back to Daniel chapter 2, verse 40. So Esau is the end of the world. Is everybody with me so far? All right, watch this. Daniel chapter 2, verse 40.
The book of Daniel, chapter 2, verse 40. It says, and the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron. For as much as iron breaketh in pieces,
as much as iron breaketh in pieces,
and subdueth all things, and as iron that breaketh all these, shall it break in pieces and bruise.
And shall it break in pieces and bruise. All right, so if y'all was with me earlier, y'all already knew what we already went through that. But now we're going to Daniel chapter 7. I want Daniel chapter 7 and verse 7. Daniel chapter 7, and I want verse 7. Watch this.
The book of Daniel, chapter 7 and verse 7. It says, after this, I saw in the night vision, and behold, a fourth beast.
A fourth beast.
Dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly. And it had great iron teeth.
Read.
It devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it. And it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it.
It was diverse. It was different from all the beasts that was before. Watch this.
And it had 10 horns.
It had 10 horns. Read.
I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn.
I considered the horns, and there came up a little horn amongst them. Read.
And before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the root.
And so the 3 of the first horns, it was plucked up by the root. We will visit this. I don't want to bring this out now. I want to come back to this because that's future, and I don't want to go into the future. I want to stay where we at in Rome. Go ahead.
And behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of man.
That's all I wanted. I wanted 8. You was through with 8?
No, I was reading the rest of it.
All right. Okay. Read. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm kind of finishing.
Go ahead.
And it says, behold, this one were eyes like the eyes of man, and a mouth speaking great things.
And his mouth was speaking great things. Jump down to verse 15.
The book of Daniel, chapter 7 and verse 15. It says, I, Daniel, was grieved in my spirit.
So when Daniel seen this thing, he was grieved in his spirit. Watch it.
In the midst of my body.
Uh-huh.
And the visions of my head troubled me.
And see, him seeing this thing, it troubled him. Read.
Verse 16. I came near unto one of them that stood by, and asked him the truth of all this.
Read.
So he told me, and made me know the interpretation of the things.
And so he let me know the interpretation of the things. Read.
Verse 17. These great beasts, which are four kings.
Are 4 kings.
Which shall rise out of the earth.
Which shall rise out of the earth. So these 4 are 4 kings that shall rise out of the earth. Jump to verse 19.
Verse 19.
I don't want 18 yet. Read.
And then I would know the truth of the 4th beast, which was diverse from all the others, exceeding dreadful.
So he said, I want to know the truth of the 4th beast that jumped out the earth that was exceeding dreadful. Read.
Whose teeth were of iron.
Whose teeth was iron.
And his nails of brass.
And his nails is brass.
Which devoured and break in pieces and stamped the residue with his feet.
And he stamped the residue, he trampled the residue with his feet. So that let you know, go to verse 20.
Verse 20. And of the 10 horns.
Like I said, we will revisit the 10 horns. Watch this.
It says, of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the others which came up, and before whom 3 fell, even of that horn that had eyes, and a mouth that spake very great things.
He spake very great things.
Whose look was more stout than his fellows.
His look was more stout than his fellows. His look was more stout than his fellows. So now watch this from her. Give me 2nd Ezra. 2nd Ezra chapter 11. 2nd Ezra chapter 11. Go ahead.
Chapter 11 and verse.
2nd Ezra chapter 11 and verse 36.
The book of 2nd Ezra is in the Apocrypha, chapter 11 and verse 36. Then I heard a voice which said unto me, Look before thee, and consider the things that thou seest.
And consider the things that thou seest.
And I beheld, and lo, as it were a roaring lion chased out of the wood. And I saw that he sent out a man's
voice
unto the eagle and said, Hear thou.
Stop. You remember, we just showed you he sent out a man's voice out of the eagle. What is the eagle representing? A man, not an animal. Watch this. Read.
Hear thou, I will talk with thee, and the highest shall say unto thee, Art not thou it that remainest of the 4 beasts?
So he's asking the eagle, are you not it that remaineth of the 4 beasts? So is he talking to an animal or is he talking to a man?
He's talking to a man.
He's talking to a man. Read, watch this.
Whom I made to reign in my world.
Who I made to reign in my world.
And that the end of their time might come through them.
See, that's at 2nd Ezra 6 and 7 through 9.
Right.
That the end of that time might come through them, meaning Esau is going to be the last ruling kingdom. Read.
Verse 40. And the 4th came and overcame all the beasts that were past.
Read.
And had power over the world with great fearfulness.
With great fierceness.
And over the whole compass of the earth.
Stop. Over the whole what?
Compass of the earth.
That's that right there. The whole compass. What is a compass? Compass is what?
Circle.
Over the whole circle of the earth. Shoot that. I got to shoot that in for you flat on brothers. Read.
He says, with much wicked oppression.
With much wicked oppression.
And so long time dwelt he upon the earth with deceit.
Read.
For the earth has...
Hold on. Stop. Rewind it back. I know it. Because we laughed about the compass of the earth. But he says, the compass of the earth with what?
With much wicked oppression.
So this man that ruled with much wicked oppression. Now watch this, read.
And so long time he dwelt upon the earth with deceit.
So a long time that he dwelt upon the earth with deceit, with lies. Read.
It says, for the earth hast thou not judged with truth.
And the earth hast thou not judged with truth.
For thou hast afflicted the meek.
He afflicted the meek. We are the meek. Read.
Thou hast hurt the peaceable.
Thou hurt the peaceable. We are the peaceable ones. Come on. Hold on. Stop. Let's prove that we are the meek and the peaceable. And give me Matthews. Give me Matthew. Because we might have somebody on here that he ain't talking about y'all. He ain't talking about no Israelites. Give me Matthew chapter 5. Hold on. No, I want that, but give me 1 minute. Give me hold that up. No, you ain't gotta do that. Give me Matthew chapter 1, verse 21. Let's do it like that first. Let's do it like that, then we'll jump. Matthew 1:21, please.
The book of Matthew, chapter 1, verse 21. And she shall bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name Jesus, for he shall save his people from their sin.
For he shall say what?
For he shall save his people from their sin.
So he should save his people from their sins. Come on.
Verse 22. Now all this...
that's all I want. Okay. He should save his people. Now give me Matthew chapter 5 and verse 5. So now he's talking to the Israelites right here. Watch this, read.
In the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 5. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth.
Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. What was the other one? It said the meek and the peaceful. Go ahead, verse 9.
Matthew 5 and 9.
Yes.
It says, blessed are the peacemakers.
Blessed are the peacemakers,
for they shall be called the children of God.
See, the peacemakers are peaceful ones. Now let's go back to 2nd Ezra chapter 5 and verse 40.
The book of 2nd
42.
Chapter
11. Verse
42.
I'm all the way off.
42, it says, for thou hast afflicted the meek. Thou hast hurt the peaceable.
We are the peaceful and we are the meek.
Thou hast loved liars.
See, so Esau loved liars. That's why when you see black people go against black people, Esau always take the liar's side. They always take the liar's side because they don't like truthful people. That's why it says, read it again, watch this.
He says,
but they say they real.
Yeah.
They say I love justice.
Yeah.
Nah, you don't love justice. Read it again.
He says, for thou hast afflicted.
It ain't no not really. It's not at all. Read.
For thou hast afflicted the meek.
Thou afflicted the meek.
Thou hast hurt the peaceable. Thou hast loved liars and destroyed the dwellings of them that brought forth fruit, and has cast down the walls of such as did thee no harm.
They cast down the walls because when Titus and Vespasian, when they came in, they tore down the walls. They tore down everything. All right. Also, in the Babylonians came and they tore down our walls. Read.
Therefore is thy wrongful dealings come up unto the highest.
So as that wrongful dealings come up to the highest. Come on.
And thy pride unto the mighty.
And thy pride unto the mighty. Read.
It says the highest also hath looked upon the proud times, and behold, they are ended, and his abominations are fulfilled.
That's all I wanted. I'm sorry. I went too far. Okay. I went too far. Give me 2nd Ezra chapter 12.
Book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 12, verse.
So let me read verse 4. It said, and the fourth came and overcame all the beasts that were past. This is verse 40. And power over the earth, and had power over the earth with great fearfulness, and over the whole compass of the earth with much wicked oppression. As so long time dwelt he upon the earth with deceit. Go down to verse 12 and verse 9.
Book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 12, verse 9.
Verse 4.
Verse 4. It says, lo, this hast thou done unto me, in that thou searchest out the ways of the highest.
And so he said, thou searchest out the ways of the highest. Read.
Lo, yet I am weary in my mind, and very weak in my spirit, and little strength is there in me. For the great fear wherewith I was affrighted was this night. Therefore will I now beseech the highest, that he will comfort me unto the end. And I said, Lord, thou bearest rule. If I have found grace before thy sight, and if I am justified with thee before many others, and if my prayer indeed become up before thy face.
This is Ezra pleading with God to show him the parable. Read.
Comfort me then, and show me thy servant the interpretation and plain difference.
It says, show me that interpretation and plain difference. Read.
Of this fearful vision.
Read.
That thou mayest perfectly comfort my soul. You
remember Daniel said that vision was fearful too.
Yep.
Daniel said that vision was fearful, and Ezra, which is Ezra's, is saying that vision is fearful too. All right? Both of them are saying that the vision was scary. That's a heavy thing.
So they seeing something.
They seeing the destruction of this town.
Yeah.
Read.
For thou hast judged me worthy to show me the last times.
The last what?
The last time.
Now watch this. The last times. For y'all brothers that don't understand last time, last ages, last days. Where we at right now? Read. Watch this.
And he said unto me, this is the interpretation of the vision.
Read.
The eagle.
The what?
The eagle.
Read.
Whom thou sawest.
The eagle whom thou sawest.
He says, come up from the sea.
Came up out of the sea.
Is the kingdom which was seen in the vision of thy brother Daniel.
Stop. The eagle that came up out of the sea was the vision of thy brother Daniel seen. But stop. Pump your brakes. Y'all head is already at America, ain't y'all? Nope. Y'all already think y'all know where I'm going at, don't y'all? Read.
This is verse 12. But it was not expounded unto him. Therefore now I declare it unto thee. Behold, the day will come that there shall rise a kingdom upon earth, and it shall be feared above all the kingdoms that were before it.
And so it says, the day will come that it shall rise a kingdom upon the earth, and it will be feared more than all the kingdoms before. Watch this.
It says, in the same shall 12 kings reign.
And the same shall 12 kings reign.
One after another.
So 12 kings are going to reign one after another. All right, we're going to stop right there real quick. Officer George, read that for me. These are the 12. It says there's going to be 12 kings. Matter of fact, go ahead and finish up a little bit. Because I want all that to be read at the same time.
Was that in Ezra?
Yeah, finish it off. Verse 15 and 16.
12, 15, 16. It says, whereof the second shall begin to reign, and shall have no more time than any of the 12.
Read that again.
It says, whereof the second shall begin to reign, and shall have more time than any of the 12.
That one that the second that began to reign is Augustus. Write this down. Augustus Caesar. He reigned for 40 years. Augustus Caesar's reigned for 40 years. All right, go ahead.
Verse 16. And this do the 12 wings signify.
This who the 12 wings signify that thou sawest. So now we're going to read off those 12 wings right here for you.
It says, a look at the lives of the first 12 Roman empires.
I just want the names of them. You ain't got to read into them.
The 12 Roman empires. Let's see. This is I guess we start here. Julio Claudians. Starting here.
No, go to the, right there. There go. They count.
Oh, okay. Julius. Okay, it says Gaius Julius Caesar.
Julius Caesar is the first one. Go to the next one. Just right here. The ones in bold letters.
Oh, okay. Julius Caesar, Octavian or Augustus.
Octavian or Augustus. That's who we just said. Octavius or Augustus. That was the second Caesar.
Tiberius.
That was the one that reigned for 40 years. Was Augustus. All right. Tiberius. He's the third.
We have the real Caligula.
All All right, that's the Caligula that we remember. We already did a class talking about Caligula.
Caligula.
Go ahead.
We have Aquila.
No, you got the wrong paper. Yeah.
Tiberius.
No, it's on the next one, right?
Claudius.
Claudius is the 5th.
Okay. We have Nero.
Nero is the 6th.
We have Otho.
Hold on, you missed one. Right.
Nero. Oh, Galba.
Galba is the 7th. Otho is the 8th.
Vitellius
is the 9th.
Got Vespasian.
Vespasian is the 10th.
Titus
is the 11th.
And we have Domitian.
Yeah, Domitian. Yeah. So he is the 12th. Those are your 12 Caesars. All right, everybody got that. Let me have this. All right, so those are your 12 Caesars. All right, now, what I want y'all to do is I want you to go back, Officer George, and I want you to go back to verse 11 again. Second Ezra. 12 and 11.
12 and 11. It says, the eagle whom thou sawest come up from the sea is the kingdom which was seen in the vision of thy brother Daniel.
So the eagle is the vision. So now, I know where y'all's going. Your mind's going to American eagle, right? But no, we're going to go to Rome's eagle, which is Aquila. You see that? Aquila, Rome. We're going to read about it right now. So what do Aquila mean, Officer George? Read that for us.
So Aquila, Rome. Aquila. The eagle. It was
what?
The eagle.
The eagle.
It was a prominent symbol.
It was a prominent what?
It was a prominent symbol.
Read.
Used in ancient Rome. Especially as the standard of a Roman legion.
So now I'm remember in part 2. Nope, I ain't gotta go to part 2. I don't think so. I think it's right. Do I already got this now? No, yeah, it's coming up right now. Everybody understand that? So Aquila, Aquila means eagle. Everybody understand that? Mm-hmm. That was the Roman symbol. All right, good? All right, and hold on. The eagle had a, what's that?
Want me to keep reading?
Yeah, keep reading that.
It says, the eagle, it was a prominent symbol used in ancient Rome, especially as the standard of a Roman legion. It was a legendary known as an aquilifier or an aquilifer. The eagle bearer carried with standard. Each legion carried one eagle.
Did you see that? Each legion. So every army carried his own
eagle.
So we're going to let you know who we are. We're kicking in the door.
That's right.
All right. Do we want anything? Nah, we good. All right. You can, if you want to get that, you can Wikipedia that yourself and you can look that up yourself. All right, from there, Officer George, let's get Deuteronomy 28. Now watch this, brothers and sisters. Officer George, before we give me Ecclesiasticus, let me look. I think it's 33. Ecclesiasticus 33 and verse 15, please.
The book of Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, chapter 33 and verse
15. That's it.
So look upon all the works of the Most High.
Look upon all the works of the Most High.
And there are two and two.
There are two and two.
And one against another.
And one against another. So I'm showing y'all that the works are two. It got two different meanings. All right? Everybody understand that? Now watch this. Deuteronomy 28 also.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse
49.
49.
Watch this.
It says, the Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far.
And the Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far.
From the ends of the earth.
From the ends of the earth.
As swift as the eagle flieth.
As swift as the eagle flieth.
A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
Read.
A nation of furious countenance.
Stop. I want to go back. 49 again.
The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far.
If y'all didn't know, Rome was far from America. From Israel. And I'm going to show y'all that on this next part right here. It says, the Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far. Come on.
From the ends of the earth.
From the ends of the earth.
As swift as the eagle flies.
See, so God's giving you the identity of who is coming. The eagle, which was what? The Romans.
Mm-hmm.
Read.
A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
A nation of furious countenance.
They was a furious countenance, because you got to remember, Rome conquered what? Everybody. Read.
Which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young.
Now, I want y'all to understand something right there when it says a nation of furious countenance. Or no, it says a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. That's for the second part. That's not for this part, because we understood the Romans. Mm-hmm. We understood when the Romans spoke back then. We spoke that language. When Christ walked the earth, Paul understood the language. We understood these languages. Okay? So this is not for that. The point I'm showing you is that the Lord should bring a nation from far, as swift as at the end of the earth, as swift as the eagles fly. A nation, and from there, I'm not that part. That's for the second part. A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the persons of old, nor show favor to the young. So the Romans came from far to conquer the Israelites as well. So this scripture only means America. It means when the Romans came as what? As well.
Yep.
Everybody got that?
As you look on the map, Rome is a long way from Jerusalem.
Yes. So I just wanted y'all to understand that. So now watch this. Go back to, yes, where it is. So we're going to go to the book. Who is Esau? Edom. Who is Esau? Edom. All right, we're going to go to this book. And I just want this part. Give me one part. Give me 1 second. I'll say one part. All right, read this right here. I just want this part, these 2 parts right there. That's all I want.
Okay, this, we're going to read on page 7. And it says, thus, at this juncture of time, the Edomites were then incorporated with the Jewish nation.
The Edomite was incorporated with the Jewish nations.
And their country was called by the Greeks and Romans Idumea.
You see, so what was the Romans? What was the Greeks? Idumea. So they was who? Esau. Yep. Read.
It says, but the tide turned in favor of the Edomites faction when Julius Caesar made Antipater an Edomite. Procurator of Judea in 47 BC. When Antipater was killed 4 years later, his son Herod gained power, but was rejected by the Judites.
The Judites are the real Jews. Read.
Herod.
That's it. That's all I want. Just to that. All right. So now we know, according to this book, that Esau is who? The Romans. All right. So we know that. And we know it by, we just showed y'all in what? Scripture as what? Will. All right. But watch this. We ain't done yet. Give me Genesis. We already showed that Esau here. We already read Genesis 27, right? 39 through 41. We already went there. Give me First Maccabees 8:1. First Maccabees chapter 8, verse 1. Watch this.
The book of First Maccabees chapter 8, verse 1. Now Judah had heard of the fame of the Romans.
Judah have heard of the fame of the Romans.
And now they were mighty and valiant men, and such as would lovingly accept all that joined themselves unto them, and make a league of enmity.
Enmity, that word enmity means friendly relationships. Write that down. Enmity means friendly relationships. Read.
With all that came unto them.
Read.
And that they were men of great valor.
They was men of great value.
And was told him also of their wars and noble acts which they had done among the Galatians, and how they had conquered them.
How they conquered the Galatians.
And brought them under tribute.
Read.
And what they had done in the country of Spain.
Yeah, I want y'all to listen to this. But they read it again.
And what they had done in the country of Spain.
What they have done in the country of Spain.
For the winning of the mines of the silver and gold which is there.
Read.
And that by their policies and patience they had conquered all the place.
So didn't they conquered Spain. So that's how the Edomites got in where? Spain. Read.
And though it were very far from them. And the king also that came against them from the uttermost part of the earth, till they had discomfited them and given them a great overthrow, so that the rest did give them tribute every year.
Read.
Besides this, how they had discomfited in battle Philip and Perseus, king of the Sidonians, with others that lifted up themselves against them and had overcome them. How also Antiochus, the king of Asia, that came against them in battle, having...
No. How also Antiochus, the great king of Asia. Go ahead.
That came against them in battle, having 120 elephants with horsemen and chariots and a very great army. Was discomfited by them.
They was discomfited by them.
And how they took them alive and covenanted that he and such as reigned after him should pay a great tribute and give hostages, and that which was agreed upon.
Great.
In the country of India and Media and Lydia, of the goodliest countries, which they took of him and gave to King Eumenes. Yeah, go ahead. Eumenes. Moreover, how the Grecians had determined to come and destroy him. And they, having knowledge thereof, sent against them a certain captain, and fighting with them slew many of them.
My fault. That was Eumenes. You right. Eumenes? Go ahead. Yeah, my bad. Go ahead.
And that they have, having knowledge thereof, sent against them a certain captain, and fighting with them slew many of them.
It slew many of them. Watch this.
And carried away captive their wives and their children, and spoiled them, and took possessions of their lands.
They took possession of their lands.
And pulled down their strongholds.
Read.
And brought them to be their servants unto this day.
Read.
It was told him besides how they destroyed and brought under their dominion all other kingdoms and isles that at any time resisted them.
So you see now when we get into it, we got a little bit. Get you a little water because we got a little bit more than this is a heavy load right here. So as you can see, the Romans, they didn't play, they conquered everybody.
Yeah.
We're showing you the Romans at the beginning of them conquering everybody. Watch this. Come on. Go ahead.
It says in verse 12, but with their friends and such as relied upon them, they kept amity,
meaning friendship, friendly relationships,
and that they had conquered kingdoms both far and nigh.
What did it say? They did what?
They had conquered kingdoms both far and nigh.
And so y'all got to remember, what did I just read in Deuteronomy 28 and 49? They went far.
Yep.
The Lord shall bring a nation against thee for what?
From
far. That started with Rome coming. That started with Rome. Read.
And they had conquered kingdoms both far and nigh, and so much as all that heard of their name.
I'm sorry. And also you got to remember, the Greeks came from what? Far. The Greeks and the Romans came from far. They're not too far from each other.
Right.
So the Greeks and the Romans came from far.
Yeah.
So let me put that in perspective right there. Read.
It says, insomuch as all that heard of their name were afraid of them. Also that whom they would help to a kingdom, those reigned, and whom again they displaced. Finally, that they were greatly exalted.
Read. Finally, they was greatly exalted.
Yet for all this, none of them wore a crown.
Read.
Or was clothed in purple, to be magnified thereby.
Come on.
Moreover, how they had made for themselves a senate house, wherein 320 men sat in council.
Oh no, so Romans had a senate house of 300. Didn't we just read about that?
Yep.
We just read about that.
Yep.
They had a senate house where 320 men sat in council daily,
consulting always for the people.
Read.
To the end that they might be well ordered.
That's the same thing you see today with Congress in America.
Yes, sir.
Congress assume every day, and then they have breaks. It's the same thing. Read.
Verse 16. And that they committed their government to one man every year, who ruled over all their country, and that all their obedient and that all were obedient to that one, and that there was neither envy nor emulation among them. So
now, back then it was one man ruled every year. Now it's every what? 4 years. Come on, read.
In consideration of these things, Judas, who chose Eupolemus, the son of John, the son of Achus, and Jason, the son of Eleazar, and sent them to Rome to make a league of amity and confederacy.
Now, I want y'all to understand something, because as we go, I need y'all to next week, remember this right here. Judas chose Eupolemus, the son of John, and what's his name?
And the son of Achus.
Achus, the son of Achus, and Jason, the son of Eleazar. All right? So now watch this, read.
And sent them to Rome to make a league of amity and confederacy with them, and to entreat them that they would take the yoke from them. For they saw that the kingdom of the Grecians did oppress Israel with servitude.
They seen that they people oppressed Israel with what? Servitude. Made us servants. Making us servants. That goes back to Judges 5 and 11. Judges 5 and 11. Read.
And they went therefore to Rome, which was a very great journey, and came into the Senate, where they spake and said, Judas Maccabeus with his brethren and the people of the Jews have sent us unto you to make a confederacy and peace with you, and that we might be registered, your confederate and friend.
And that you're confederate and friends.
So that matter pleased the Romans.
So that matter pleased Romans well.
And this is a copy of the epistle which the Senate wrote back again in tables of brass and sent to Jerusalem, that there might have by them a memorial of peace and confederacy. Good success be to the Romans.
Good success be to the Romans.
And to the people of the Jews. By sea and by land forever. The sword also, an enemy be far from them. If there come first any war upon the Romans or any of their confederates throughout all their dominion, the people of the Jews shall help them, as the time shall be appointed with all their heart. Neither shall they give anything unto them that make war upon them, or aid them with victuals, weapons, money, or ships, as it hath seemed good unto the Romans. But they shall keep their covenant without taking anything thereof. In the same manner also, if war come first upon the nations of the Jews, the Romans shall help them with all their heart, according to the time shall it be appointed them. Neither shall victuals be given to them that take part against them, nor weapons, nor money, or ships, as it hath seemed good to the Romans. But they shall keep their covenants, and that without deceit. According to these articles, did the Romans make a covenant with the people of the Jews. Howbeit, if hereafter the one party or the other shall think meet to add or diminish anything, they may do it at their pleasure. And whatsoever they shall add or take away shall be ratified. Ratified. And as touching the evil that Demetrius doth to the Jews, we have written unto him, saying, Wherefore hast thou made thy yoke heavy upon our friends and confederates of the Jews? If therefore they complain any more against thee, we will do them justice and fight with thee by sea and by land.
So you see that? So the Romans have told Demetrius, hey man, hey y'all mess with these people, we gonna come and fight with y'all. Alright, so Rome was tough. But what did we do wrong? Judas Maccabee did what? He made a what? He made an agreement with the Romans. He made an agreement with the Romans. All right.
But that's what America does anyway with a lot of people. They make what they call them developing allies and so forth to do certain things for them. Yeah.
So now, watch this. I'm going to hit this early, but we're going to visit back. Let's hit it. Psalms 55 and 20.
The book of Psalms, chapter 55, verse 20.
Read.
He has put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He has broken his covenant. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil.
Because y'all gonna see in the next part that Rome double-crossed us. Rome double-crossed us. Y'all gonna see that. So we made a treaty with Rome right here. And the same people, y'all gonna see in the next part too, because I can't tell y'all today. But the next part, y'all gonna see that we had Edomites within our juncture. We had Edomites within our people. Watch this. Give me Luke chapter 21, verse 24. 21, verse 20.
The book of Luke, chapter 21, verse 20. And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh.
That army is talking about the Roman army. Watch this.
Verse 21. Then let them which are in the Judea flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter therein. For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which were written may be fulfilled.
Read.
But woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. For there shall be great distress in the land and wrath upon this people.
Because our women and children are going to get killed. You're going to see that in part 2. Read.
Verse 24. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword.
And we shall fall by the edge of the sword.
And shall be led away captive into all nations.
Read.
And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled.
Y'all see that right there? So Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. So where did this prophecy come from? Give me Babylon.
Babylon chapter 2.
Hold on real quick. Let me see. I want this first. Yeah, I want this first. All right. We're going back to who is Esau, Edom, and we're going to page 9. I want the top of page 9. Yeah, all green. Read all the way down.
It says, during Titus' siege of Jerusalem, in 66 to 70 A.D.
Okay, so this 66 to 70 A.D. Watch this.
20,000 Idumeans appeared before Jerusalem to fight in behalf of the Zealots.
Now stop it. We're going to show y'all something. Because we don't worry about it. I'll explain it as we go. Go ahead, watch it. It says 20,000 what?
It says 20,000 Idumeans appeared before Jerusalem.
Idumeans, which is Edom, which is Esau. Read.
It says appeared before Jerusalem to fight in behalf of the Zealots who were besieged in the temple. About 97,000 inhabitants of Judea were taken captive, and an unknown number had fled either before or during the siege. This is the last mention of the Edomites as a people in history.
You see that? It's not the last. Watch this. Come on.
Yet, Bible prophecy indicates.
See, it says yet. Bible prophecy indicates
that Edom would be an enemy of Israel in latter times. We find that their only connection to a present day people and religion is that the Jews and Judaism.
Jude and Judaism. Who are the Jews? Who's doing the Judaism?
The Jewish.
The Jewish people. So Esau is not dead. Read.
It says, we thus need to trace back the origin of the Jews to see who they are and how they fit into the puzzle of who is Esau, Edom.
They know exactly who we are. Don't think that. They know exactly who we are. Give me Ezekiel chapter 34. Give me Ezekiel chapter 34. No, give me 34.
Ezekiel chapter 34, verse 20. In verse 20. It says, therefore, thus saith the Lord God unto them, behold, I, even I, will judge between the fat cattle and between the lean cattle, because ye have thrust with side and with shoulder, and pushed all the diseased with your horns, till ye have scattered them abroad.
Talking about us, read.
Therefore will I save my flock.
I'm going to save my people, God said.
And they shall no more be prey.
They not going to be prey to you, because an eagle does what? Search out his what? Prey. Read.
And I will judge between cattle and cattle.
Read.
And I will set up one shepherd over them, and he shall feed them, even my servant David, and he shall feed them, and he shall be their shepherd, and I, the Lord, will be their God.
Hold on real quick. Where was I going at? I don't want that. I didn't want that. Hold on real quick. I'm thinking about. All right, give me 36.
34, 36?
No, 36.
Chapter 36?
36 and verse 35. 36 and verse 5.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 36 and verse 5. Therefore, thus saith the Lord God, surely In the fire of my jealousy I have spoken against the residue of the heathen.
Against the residue of the heathen.
And against all Idumea.
Against who?
Against all Idumea.
So God said against all Idumea.
Which have appointed my land.
Which appointed my land.
Into their possession.
Into their possession. Read.
And with the joy of all their heart, with despiteful minds, to cast it out for a prey.
They cast it out for a prey. So now that's all I wanted. I wanted to show you that Esau is who? Idumea. Because all right, so now let's go from there to give me Babylon. Babylon to Timbuktu. Because at the end of this, it says, during Titus siege of Jerusalem around 66 to 70 AD, 20,000 Idumea period before Jerusalem fighting in behalf of the Zealot, who were besieged in the temple. About 97,000 inhabitants of Jerusalem, Judea was taken captives. An unknown number have fled either before or during the siege. Now watch this. Let's see what they was talking about. 84. Read what you got.
This is the book of the Babylon Timbuktu, page 84. And it says, in the year 65 BC, the Roman armies under General Pompey captured Jerusalem.
So now it's telling you in 65 BC, in the year 65 BC, read.
In 70 AD,
and 70 AD,
General Vespasian and his son Titus put an end to the Jewish state.
They put an end to the Jewish state
with great slaughter.
With great slaughter. Remember in the book of Esau, who is Esau and Edom, it says from 66 to what? 70 AD. Yeah. But in the Babylon Timbuktu, let you know that in 70 AD it was General Vespasian and his son Titus. Read.
And they put an end to the Jewish state with great slaughter during the period of the military governors of Palestine. Many outrages and atrocities were committed against the residue of the people. During the period from Pompey to Julius, it has been estimated that over 1 million Jews fled into Africa.
1 million Jews fled into Africa. That's what the end of that was saying. They didn't know how many Jews were unknown number of Jews that fled either before or during the siege. Read, it was over 1 million Jews.
They fleeing from Roman persecution.
They was fleeing for who?
From Roman persecution.
From Roman, so it was the Romans that did that. Read.
And slavery. The slave markets were full of black Jewish slaves.
Black Jews slaves. All right, so that's what I want y'all to chew the cud on today. I hope that y'all got something out of today's class. Next week we'll be back at it. It's gonna get heavy. So I hope y'all enjoyed today's class. Thank y'all for joining us, man. Remember, I was in George classes on Tuesdays. Thursday, I'm sorry. Remember, I was George classes on Thursday. Remember, now we're doing Clubhouse on Fridays nights. It's not on Saturday mornings no more. It's on Friday nights. Hopefully we get some of y'all brothers and sisters to participate with us on Clubhouse. Come in, join, sit down, talk to us. Other than that, thank y'all. We'll see y'all next Sabbath. With that, we'll say shalom.